Hi! Happy New Year's, guys! This is my setup and this is how everyone at Sentinels sets up, so let's get right into it. Alright, so I have the Wooting 60H here and I don't really tilt it or anything, it's not really comfortable. I like to just chill, like straight ahead or even maybe a little slanted like this. For my mouse pad, I use the Artisan Zero X Soft. I've got the Sentinels Edition Viper V3 Pro here. Oh, and then, yeah, I just be chilling, for my mouse grip, I mean, I don't really know what this is called, like maybe like semi-claw, but like not really claw, just like more fingertip. I don't really know. I mean, I don't really go into hold it in a specific way. It's just like whatever feels natural for me. So my mouse DPI is actually set to 1600 for my mouse properties. I have the enhanced pointer position off because it's like mouse acceleration. I don't really like that, so I have it off. My pointer speed is actually set to 5 instead of the default 6 because I play a higher DPI. So that's it for the mouse settings. I play native res. Usually I play 360 Hertz, but this monitor is just 240. For my digital vibrance, I have it set to 85%. And there's also some other settings like in the NVIDIA like managed 3D settings, but it's like pretty complicated. I won't bore you with that. Come to my stream if you wanna know those settings. That's pretty much it. Let's head back into Valorant here. My sensitivity is 0.155. My scope sense is 0.8. ADS multiplier is 1. I mean, here's my minimap settings. I won't bore you with that. Most of you guys probably don't even look at your minimap anyway. So here's my ability settings and like my movement. People call me weird because I have my walk set to control and my crouch set to shift. I think they're just bad. My spacebar or like my jump is spacebar and mouse wheel down. It's just like usually when I'm b-hopping or if my thumb is occupied, then I use mouse wheel down, and like if I prefer to just use spacebar, I use it. My equipment, I use hold. I just prefer it. Just makes me lock in better on angles when I'm like holding it down instead of toggle. These are all some just basic settings for me. Most recently equipped, don't auto equip melee. My inspect is T, my use object is E because I use F for one of my abilities. I mean, these are all, basic normal stuff. This is, up to you guys. This is just what I use. Interface, I mean, again, it's up to you guys. This doesn't really change much. My crosshair, there's been a few crosshairs I've been on. I think this might be, the setting might be a little bit wrong, but I'm usually on like the white dot. I do dabble in this little crosshair. Verno actually used to use this crosshair and I took it from him. This is my old crosshair I used to use. It's like 1212, but like it doesn't really hit much anymore for me. And then recently I've been on this 1420, red cross. I've been messing with that. My scope dot, honestly it changes a little bit, but like for the most part I've just been using these dots. Nothing really too specific about that. For my general settings, I have all this off. I heard that having it on instead of on plus boost is some tech, so I've been using it, don't quote me. I got all my settings on low. Maybe sometimes I'll add some bloom if the game is feeling dull, but like that's really about it for everything. Obviously HRTF is on. Alright guys, well that was my Valorant settings. No, they will not help you get better. I mean, these settings are the most comfortable for me, so yeah, make sure you guys find your most comfortable settings. Don't just copy from these other noobs. Just because Cortez can hit a shot every once in a while again does not mean his settings are insane. Anyways, I think cut to the next guy. So peace out.
Hey guys, Cortezia here, and I'll just walk through my settings right now. Outside the game, I don't have a lot of settings, like different settings to be honest, but I'll show you what I change. Usually on NVIDIA, I like to use the colors, like I change digital vibrance for, I think it's 70 usually. For my mouse, I use 800 DPI default. I never change that, always using 800. And like also about the position that I use, like I usually play, I like to play with the keyboard really close to the border of the desk, like this. Because I don't like to have like my wrist, like my left wrist, on top of the desk like this. I like to put like outside and use the arm from the chair. And my mouse usually is like this. It's because to be honest, I don't use like a huge mouse pad like this from the Sentinels. This is pretty good, but it's too big for me. So usually my mouse pad is like, this is the limit. So I usually play like this, like in stage, a little bit like diagonal here on the keyboard. And that's it, that's my position, my comfortable position. So okay, here inside Valorant, it's where the things start changing a little bit. So sensitivity, I use a pretty low sensitivity. I use 0.14. I think is one of the most low sense that I know, like usually like from pro players. I know that some people actually use lower sensitivity, but I think mine is pretty low. Okay, the scope sensitivity multiplier, I don't know why, but since I start playing, I just changed it. It was 1 before, the default is 1.0, but then I just changed for 0.7 and that's it. Like I'm playing like this for 4 years maybe already, so I don't think I'm changing, but I can't explain why I changed it, that's why. So on map, if I'm right, I think I use everything default. I don't change the map. I never change the map. And I use left hand in game. Also, I think it's pretty rare to be honest, but I use first person handness on left. Okay, here on the controls, I just changed on equipment. I like to use the equip primary weapon. I like to put the mouse tool, like the second button here on the mouse, because I used to play a lot of CS, and on the CS you just press Q and you change like for the last gun, like you're using Alt. To be honest, it wasn't even on the CSGO, it was on the Crossfire. I used to play Crossfire when I was a kid, and like I used to play AWP a lot there. And to make it like a fast, like changing guns, like you're playing AWP and you want to pull your knife out and then get your AWP again, so you just press Q. But when I started playing Valorant, I couldn't find a way to easily do it. So I find a easy way to do it, that is the side buttons from like the mouse, and I just change guns like this. So I use like the primary weapon, I use the second side button, and the melee weapon I use like the first one. So when I'm playing, I just pressing these buttons and I'm changing. So that's how I do it. Okay, so in video settings, I actually use everything like off/low. So there's only one thing that I'm not seeing a lot of people using, that is the experimental sharpening. I use on. I really think that changed a lot for me inside the game, like the way I see the stuff, like the corners, like the highlight of the stuff is pretty it's better for me using on. So you can try it at home and see what you think, but for me I need that setting on. I always use it. I can't play without. Okay, and this is the crosshair that I'm using for a long time, to be honest. Probably even before like second split, I just changed it for this one. I used to use like a cross like for a long time, but now I'm using just a dot. Like I really like this white dot. I think that is helping me to kill a lot of agents inside the game, to be honest. And I think that I'm playing really well now with that one. So for now at least, I'll keep with that. So yeah, guys, this is my settings. I think that I know that some of them is like really different. It's not usual. So I don't know. I would say that you guys should try it. If you guys like, just use it. It's pretty OP. I like it. I'm using it for 4 straight years, and it's working for me.
Cool. So wait, you play in Japanese with Japanese text, or?
Yeah.
Why?
With the language.
Because anime.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like an anime. Like when Ray's use the ultimate, like it looks.
Okay. No, I was just.
Arigato! She's not saying that, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great.
It's really cool.
All right, so first thing is my how I position my keyboard and mouse. So I like to have my keyboard on like, a little bit of a tilt, not like anything too crazy, but it just feels a bit more comfortable like this. Like my hands kind of like angle a little bit to the right, so it just feels a bit easier to use the keys. And then obviously mouse. If I have like my normal mouse pad, I'm playing normally, like if it was like in relation to the mouse pad, I'd be playing toward like the top of my mouse pad, so like kind of around this area. And my mouse pad would be about like this far away from like the edge of the desk. So it'd be like starting here and I'd be up here. All right, so for Windows settings, I don't really change too much in the Windows settings, but obviously mouse settings are really important. Enhanced pointer precision off, that's mouse acceleration, you don't want that. And then I have my pointer speed at 6 out of 10. Somebody told me that this actually doesn't matter for Valorant. Your sense is gonna be the same no matter what. It only affects like your cursor. So in Valorant specifically, it doesn't affect. I don't know if it affects in other games, but you can keep that in mind. In NVIDIA settings and stuff, personally, I don't really change much. If I were to change anything, I would go to manage 3D settings and either change the low latency on to on or ultra. It just depends if I feel like, something's underperforming or whatever. So it's either on or ultra. I always keep it on. And then obviously for, resolution, you want to select the highest hertz, play on native. And then for adjust desktop size and position, I always put it on full screen and then I scale on GPU. It just makes it like perform on the GPU instead of display, and I'm not sure if it's slower or faster, but this is just normally what I do. All right, now we're in game. I'm gonna show you the in-game Valorant settings. Usually I play on English, but sometimes I'll play on Japanese if I feel like it. Enemy highlight color, I switch between purple and yellow just because, it just depends on what you want to see. If you want to see yellow enemies, you want to see purple enemies, it just depends, purely preference. But I would say they're both better than red, but if you enjoy red, it's fine. Sense, I've been on 0.16. I've been changing my sense a lot, so if you see me play, it might be different, but that's usually what I play on, and I play on 1600 DPI. On the mouse, depends on what mouse I'm using, usually 2000 hertz. If not, then 1000. So 1600 DPI, 0.16, scope, sense, and ADS sense, both 0.9. I like it a little bit slower than default because I feel like in Valorant, if you are ADS and like you have your sense, if you are on 1, it's actually faster. Like if you're zoomed in, like obviously your screen is a bit zoomed in, it feels faster than if you're on like a lower sensitivity. So like if you're on 1 and you zoom in, it'll be faster swiping than it would be like your normal swiping. Like my flick here will be slower. On map, I have it on rotate. I have the mini-map zoom. I always keep the player centered because I think it helps me with spamming people through smokes and stuff. Because a lot of the time I'm just staring at the map. So for that same scenario, I have rotate on, I have keep player centered, and I also have the mini-map size on. Before I had it around like at the lowest, like have it really small on my screen, but now I actually have it a lot bigger so I can spam people easier. So around like 0.13, 0.12, or 1.2, 1.3. Zoom, I have it on 0.7 so I can actually see the whole map. Like so say you're playing, A long, I can still see all the way to C. Like I can see the map, so I have full information on where anybody is. It matters on maps like this and like bind, like really long maps, and it's pretty important to have on. Minimap vision cones like on, I mean, these settings don't matter too much. And then obviously I'm playing right-hand view model. Corpses I have, and blood I have off. When you shoot somebody through a box, you can see like red ping or white, yellow pings through the box if you hit them. It's kind of stupid, but you need it, it gives you just an advantage, so I would always do that. Bullet tracers I have on. I don't know why it's off. Maybe I turned it off by accident. Usually I have them on so I can like see where my spray is going. All right, controls. My controls are a bit goofy, but I like them. I used to play Minecraft, so this is kind of what I used as my Minecraft settings. What I realized. I don't use 1 and 2 for, shoot like pulling, changing weapons because I feel like it takes your hands off the movement key and that could be costly. So I have my weapons bound to the mouse 2 or thumb mouse 1 and thumb mouse 2, so mouse 4 and mouse 5. Just makes it feel like I can just move around, just swap weapons and not risk like having bad movement or whatever. And then I have my knife on X, and then spike is on default 4. And obviously I have like the scrolls turned off. You don't want to have that on. And then drop item is G. And then I have my inspect on 3 instead of F because I'm used to playing CS. Ability 1 is on C default. Ability 2 is on Q default. I changed my use key and my ability 3 from E to F because normally in every other game your use key is E. So E is my use key in this game, and then I changed the ability to F, and then vice versa. The ultimate I changed from X to Z. Like I said, I changed my knife to X because it's just fast. It just feels really fast to me, so I just like using it, and I've been using it for a while. And obviously I changed it to Z. Normal movements, you know, run instead of sprint with shift, which is stupid. Obviously, mouse wheel down for jump. Crouch normal, everything normal. Ghost on K, doesn't matter. ADS, I have on hold, which is a bit abnormal for some people, but I used to play a lot of COD and stuff, so for me, I don't like toggling it. But the only thing with this is there's actually a bug with it. So if I were to swipe left or something and accidentally click my right click for 1 second, instead of me just like going full ADS and still turning, it actually just locks your mouse in place. So that is like a bug you should worry for if you're playing with ADS on hold. Sniper rifle obviously on toggle, zoom on cycle, auto re-enter scope off, reload R. Obviously these settings. Don't auto equip melee, it's important because if you're defusing the spike and you had your melee out, it'll pull out your gun. It would really suck if you just try to defuse or plant, you just pull out your knife and then you're just dying in a fight. I have it on most recently equipped. Strongest is good as well, but I always have it on most recently equipped. Inspect 3, obviously use on E, and then everything is default here. The only other things that I changed off of default were ping. So ping before I think is Z. I'm not exactly sure, but I changed that to my middle mouse button. A lot of games have like pinging on the middle mouse, so I just changed it to middle mouse. And then the other thing I changed was toggle cursor, because toggle cursor was on middle mouse, so I just changed it to O, because like, who cares? Those are like the normal controls. Crosshair, right now I'm just using dot. Pretty basic, nothing too insane. I'll use like a billion different crosshairs plus. I'll use anything that seems good. And the only video setting that I have on, like sometimes I'll put on the FPS and stuff, but I have on shooting error. So you see on the top right, I have shooting error on. Pretty much it tells you when you're moving and shooting. So if it's purely orange, that means you weren't moving when you shoot. If you see any blue at all, that means you're moving and shooting. So it helps you sometimes to say like you did a peek and like you're confused on why your first bullet missed because it was definitely on his head. You can see instantly that, oh, I was moving. Or if you're lagging or whatever, you just see if you're moving or not, and it's pretty helpful. I think it's helpful for like in the range. If you're moving around, you're shooting bots and you're just like practicing your movement, you get used to like fully like stopping and shooting instead of like moving, and it helps you track it. General, obviously I have off, off, off. I have my limit FPS on to 420, because that's hilarious. There's some bugs in the game that want you to have the FPS off, so just be aware that you might have to have it on and off. Obviously native, graphics quality I have on, low, 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 off, off. You pretty much don't want either of these settings on. Anti-aliasing 4x, anisotropic filtering on 4x, improved clarity off, everything off except for experimental sharpening. This is just like a preference. I think the game just looks a lot crisper and clearer, especially when you look at enemies with this on. So I like it on. But it might add some input delay, so I would just be aware of that. And yeah, audio settings, pretty basic. HRTF on. Settings depend on how you're feeling. I have like these off, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for the in-game settings. Thank you guys for watching my settings video, for the second time, and yeah, catch you guys in the next one. I didn't look at the camera one time, I was just locked in.
Usually I try to have my keyboard kind of like straight like this, mouse on the side, just make sure I have like enough space to move. I have a kind of like a fast sense, so I don't move my arm too much, it's kind of just more my wrist. So as long as I'm able to like move my wrist freely, I'm good to go. Usually I try to like kind of do it with my monitor like this, where it's like a bit below. That's kind of like my measurement in my head. So I make sure this is on 6, and then this is off, and then this is on 6 too. That's it for Windows really, and then NVIDIA, I just make sure I put this on performance, just so I don't do too much. And then this, I make sure it's on 80. I prefer on 80 with my monitor settings. It's just pleasant for the eyes. Okay, for my Valorant settings, I'm on 800 DPI, 2K Hertz, so I just use 0.4 for for sense. And then the most important ones are these. I have on, medium, low, 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 off, off, 4x, 4x, everything off. That's it in general. These are like my equipments, and these are abilities. I like to have my abilities on my thumb, so I don't have to like hinder my movements while using my abilities. So I make sure it's not on my movement fingers. For my crosshair, I always use the 1522 yellow green. Been using it for like a while now. This is my go-to. Sometimes I do dark dot if I'm feeling it, but this is like the most that I've used. If you guys watch my games or my streams, I just like big crosshairs. It feels good. I don't know why yellow green. I don't even like this color, but it just feels good to have. And my ADS, I have dot crosshair. This feels nice. And for map settings, I like to have a big map and I'm able to see like everyone on the map. So I just have it like set on 1.1, 0.95. Keep player centered off and on rotate. I think if you do this off, you'll have you have a big map and you'll be able to see like from A to B pretty much. I think the one other thing that's pretty important is this one. When you're using abilities, make sure to auto-equip your strongest weapon. So for example, if you're running with your knife out or melee out and then you use an ability, it automatically pulls out your gun, your strongest gun. For example, if you have a Vandal, Phantom, whatever, versus like equipping your knife again. And I also have this don't auto-equip melee. So just in case, like, I don't know, imagine like you run in and then like you try an ability and then like you have your gun out. So if you're taking a gunfight, it's just a good habit to have, especially like, I don't know, let's like you're playing with Neon and then you're sliding and you're just making sure you have your gun out versus your melee out accidentally. And equip spike on 4 and 5. Because I have plant on 4 and sometimes you're on the spike and you wanna give it to your teammate. So yeah, I just have 5 to pull it out and throw it. And that's it. Thanks for checking out my settings and catch you guys later.
Hey guys, Brazzo here, also known as Caillou from Sentinels. I will be going over my settings. I'm sorry I'm not at the office right now. I'm having visa issues. You can blame the government for that. I'll be there soon. So I got mouse grip tape and I hold it like a claw, like this. Pretty simple. I do palm it. Like, I know some people play claw without palm. I do palm it with claw. So these are my NVIDIA settings. The only thing I really change is I do play 1280-960. I don't play true res, but I play, you know, the fake one for the order. I don't know why. I just always have since the beta. It doesn't really do anything other than make your game look worse, but I'm used to that. Color settings, I keep it all default. Sometimes I'll turn my color vibrance down on the Zowies, and then I'll turn it up in here, but rarely. And then just the normal stuff other than that. Full screen, GPU, you gotta do this if you play stretch res. And that's it. Everything else is standard. All the 3D settings are standard. We're in Valorant here. Buy the new Sun Classic bundle. This is the new banner. You can't lie, it's fire. Look at this classic skin. This is just straight heat. Okay, it's a lot better than blackout. Anyways, my settings. General. I played 0.295 recently. I used to play 0.3, but I just got a brand new mouse pad, so I felt a bit too fast, so I went down just a little bit. I play 800 DPI. And then the only other thing I think I changed is my minimap. I do keep player centered all the time, and I have it at 1.1 and 0.7. Okay, and most importantly, I play left-hand view model. I do not play right-hand. My entire equipment page is all standard except inspect I have on my side mouse button, and I make sure I have strongest and don't equip auto-equip melee. For anybody that doesn't like really play the game, that's trying to get into it, you do not want to have this on if you play duelists. You want to have most recently equipped just in case you're pulling out shorty, stuff like that. And I do play hold to 80 at like aim down sights on the sniper. I do play hold. Crosshair, I only use 2 crosshairs. The main one's 1420, the Yaster on the black 0000. This is the main crosshair I use. I do put the opacity down sometimes. It just depends. Like sometimes I like it to play at 0.9. Usually I just keep it at 1. And then the only other one I use is just the normal standard dot, the small dot that everyone uses. It's just center dot thickness 2. In the video settings, I play 1280-960. That's the stretchers I play. So I used to play 1440, still 4-3. All my lineups are in 4-3, and I've been playing lineup characters since I started, so I can't change, even if I wanted to. I turn everything off, on plus boost. Everything as low as it can go, except anti-aliasing, MSA 4x, and 8x on the filtering. Hey, thank you. This is Caillou signing off. Thank you for checking out my settings. I hope this helps you grind to Radiant. Good luck in the queues. They're miserable.